should be fine. So we have what, 14 people. So right. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, yes, we could hear you.
You can just call me by my name, Sainath. You don't.
Yeah, we could hear you, Pravek. Yeah.
Yeah, that's more like it now.
Okay, we'll start the session. Okay, Pravek Rhaj is a BTech graduate, passed out from Vellore Institute of Technology, Chennai campus. He's 2016 to 20 graduate, and he did his masters in construction management in New Zealand. Let me just quickly go through his resume because his resume is too big to read out. I recently got his resume, right? Yeah. He did his Masters of Construction Management in Auckland University of Technology, Auckland in New Zealand. And he had uh, relevant papers studied are advanced built environment, law for construction management, project management in the construction industry. And his project include implementation of integrated project delivery scheme by identifying its key factors, benefits, and challenges. Uh, a 50-page detailed research about one of the leading project management procurement methodologies. And as I told you, he did his bachelor's of civil engineering in VIT Chennai, graduated in 2020, and now he's working in a firm. Let him introduce about the his profile rather than me, so that he'll give an insight about the firm he works on. And I have requested him to give a formal and an informal talk, but he is happy to address the topic on which talks about set, skill set, and heart set for that is required for the fresh graduates, right? So I thank Pravik in spite of his busy schedule for accepting the request to address our students and alums. And I also feel happy and proud in giving an intro about my own property student, right? And I have hand over the session to Pravik, right? I'll not be available for a while. I'll catch you up in the between. Give me some 5 minutes, right? I hand over the session to Pravik. The floor is to you. Thank you, Pravik.
All right, guys. Before, I just wanna welcome everyone here and thank you all for joining in. You don't have to worry about all the details that Arun mentioned in the from the resume. To be honest, none of it really matters. What really matters is completely different, and you don't have to have a very, very good high qualification, 9-point GPA, nothing like that. No, companies in today's world, they don't look for high qualifications or anything. They look for intangible assets. I'll come to that in a second. But before I get into the topic, I want to ask everyone here, how many of you here sitting here actually joined civil engineering with the intention to join civil engineering? I wanna hear some answers from people.
I guess you already know the answer.
Okay. So I'll take that as a no yes kind of thing. So but I'd appreciate more answers. Sainath has been very interactive. I want more people to be more interactive. Yes, Akhil, what do you
Yeah,
want to say?
I would like to say that yeah, I always wanted to be a civil engineer, so I chose it
Oh,
because I wanted to.
Akhil, can you speak more, little bit more louder?
Yes, sir. I wanted to be a civil engineer, so
Okay, so you wanted to be a civil engineer.
right.
All right. So who else? Any? At least two more answers. Two more answers. Come on, guys. This is wanna be more interactive. Only two people are interacting with me. I'm very much like a friend. Uh, gonna just share my experience and what has brought me where I am today. So I wanna like share as much value as I can and make sure you guys get some value added. Would like I would really appreciate if you guys can interact with me because I love talking to people, and if I if people don't talk to me, then I don't know how to move the conversation further. Anybody who wants to answer? Who else is here? Like who really want to do civil engineering?
Um, Hi Praveen, this is Shruti here. I'm doing my MTech Structural Engineering in VIT. Well, I did not choose up civil engineering because I wanted to, but well, I just got into it, and but then I'm doing my structural engineering now because I'm pretty much interested in it.
That's good. That's good. Okay. How many of you are actually doing engineering because your parents wanted to do you to do engineering?
I guess almost everybody.
That's everybody, eh?
Bro,
Okay,
நீங்களும் தானே
then
bro?
what was that? Sign up?
நீங்களும் தானே bro?
Yeah, no, actually, for me, I developed nobody would believe me if I told you guys, but I wanted to be a civil engineer when I was in seventh grade. And like I decided
Oh,
I
that's
grew up to,
amazing.
yeah, you guys can check my LinkedIn profile as well. Like, many wouldn't believe me when I said I aspired to be a civil engineer at the age of 12. And since then, I've really been every day, my aspiration has grown to become a civil engineer. And that is why I did civil engineering. But I've always been good at math, but I've never been good at maintaining a GPA. So you see, like I'm a very average student, above average, but not very good student. So to be like, I can be very frank with you guys, my GPA was like 7.86. But to me, my GPA never really mattered because at the end of the day, this knowledge is just knowledge. When you get into the field, none of this knowledge will help you. What will help you is the experience that you gain and how fast you're willing to gain that experience. And and I want to ask everyone this question. What does experience actually mean to you guys? What do you guys think about experience? If anybody can answer.
I would say theoretical knowledge put into practice, maybe.
Okay. Any other answers?
I would say maybe the mistakes that you try to not
Yeah,
repeat.
yeah, more, a little bit more clear, Akhil. I think you're there. Like,
Yeah, so I was saying it's about the mistakes that you have done in your career, and you learn from that,
ex-
and you try not to repeat it.
exactly. That is the answer I was looking for. But there's no right or wrong answer. But what actually makes a person's experience, what makes the term experience valuable is the mistakes, the amount of mistakes a person has made in their career. So when someone says 20 years of experience, it does not mean their knowledge is valuable because they worked in the industry for 20 years. They've made so much mistakes that now they're almost like whatever they do, they're 95% close to perfection. Nobody can achieve perfection, but it's how much mistakes they've made that when any kind of situation they face, they'll be able to know what the solution is. That is why we say experience is really valuable. And and also another thing is a person, with if someone is like really talented or highly skilled or like want to learn a lot, a person can always gain more experience. It doesn't matter if someone has achieved a position in 10 years. You can achieve the same position in 2 to 3 years, depending on how fast you're willing to make mistakes, how you treat your mistakes. Many people, when they make mistakes, what happens is they get they get uh, they get really worried. They feel a lot of stress. They put down themselves. They try to be hard on themselves. Mistake is a mistake. It's gone. That's it. Try to see what you can take out of that mistake and how you can use that mistake as a learning and then move forward. Every day, like people wouldn't believe in my company when I started. It's just been or I started Jan 27, so it's been like, yeah, just 5 months. And for a month and a half, I was working on the tables. Does anybody know how a precast industry works here? Anybody has any idea about precast?
Yes, sir, I've heard a little bit about it. So it's like they fabricate all the components beforehand and they just assemble it on the site. So here in Pune
Yeah,
we have one site, yeah. Right.
yeah, that's exactly what we do. So, but in New Zealand, it's more predominant in timber construction because in New Zealand we are a high risk zone, so it's like an earthquake zone. So we don't do very high rise buildings. That's why like concrete is not that predominant. And I realized 1 year later that when I came to New Zealand, I didn't even take into account that people do timber construction here because my idea was to come back to India and start do more research and build my own firm in concrete. So I was like thinking, oh, okay, now I've fallen into a trap. And then this happened. So I joined a company, a precast company, which which really aligned with my values and a company that I really wanted to be a part of. Because this company, they didn't treat it like it's everything is a business at the end of the day, but they cared more about their employees. Everybody would want to work in a company like that, wouldn't we? Yeah. So the thing is, whenever you want to join any company or anything, it should match with our values. So what I'm trying to say was when I started here, I started cleaning the tables. Nobody would believe me. For a month and a half, I was cleaning the table, cleaning the floor, wiping this thing, setting up the formwork, helping them do everything to pour the concrete. From starting to end, I was working 12 to 14 hours, clocking 70 hours a week. And after that, they saw a lot of, I don't know, character or potential in me, and they promoted me as a QA. And when I was promoted as a QA, I've been working as a quality assurance engineer for like 4 months now, and I have costed the company more than $20,000. So you guys should know, like when I've never made because of me, nobody has ever faced that kind of a loss. So first, when I made that mistake, and it costed the company like 4 grand, and I didn't know how to react to that because I've never been in that situation. And this is my supervisor. He's like the director now. So he came to me and he told me, I knew this was going to happen, but I let it go because he said, I wanted you to experience that and take a learning from it. And that is when he told me that being being in a leadership role is not about like it's not like you should know how to handle stressful situations when you're if you're going to be in a corporate company, you should definitely have leadership roles if you want to climb up the ladder. So everybody at the end of the day, when we want to join a company, we want to climb up the corporate ladder, don't we? So if we want to climb up the ladder, we need to have leadership skills. And he wanted to teach me a valuable lesson to be a leader. So when being a leader, it's very important how you treat people under you when the situation goes upside down. So he wanted to tell me like what happens and how he reacted with me, how he approached me. So he told me that like when this happens, when everything goes upside down, this is how you should treat your employees, and then they will value you back. Because it's always when you give respect and when you see that when you have that empathy, that is when people around you will respect you for a leader, and that is only then they'll follow you. Otherwise people will never follow you as a leader, because not there are a lot of leaders, but only few of them are being followed. So if you want to be a leader who's to lead many people, and if people really want to follow you, then you should have that empathy and value and compassion, and there are many things that to be as a leader. I'm sorry guys, I was like not very prepared for this thing, so I'm just talking whatever comes to my mind because I wanted to be more of an wanted this to be more of an interactive session so I can just drive the conversation. But like I'll just share more of my experience, what happened. So I'll just start how I came to New Zealand. When I came to New Zealand, I before coming to New Zealand, I chose New Zealand as my, like I told you guys, for construction. I was searching for many countries, and I love New Zealand in the first place. The scenery, the landscape, and everything. On top of that, New Zealand was developing in construction a lot, so I did a lot of homework and saw the opportunities here, and I told my mom and dad like I would want to go to New Zealand. So through a consultant, I came here, landed, and did 1 year of masters. But during those 1 year, what I understood was the most critical part where people struggle is the job search. So what happened is many people don't know the actual way to go about job search. This would be really helpful for you guys as well because it doesn't apply only to foreign countries. It applies in India, anywhere you go. When if you're leaving India and stepping into a new country, the day you enter the new country is the day you start your job search. That is what my uncle has taught me, and that is what I started following. So the day stepped into New Zealand, I started networking with a lot of people, and you guys wouldn't believe me if I told you that I didn't need a CV or an interview to get the job that I have now. I actually got this job with a referral, and he was actually a very influential person in the company. He was the one who actually built the company to where it is now in 3 years' time. This is actually a startup company, but I'm really glad that I joined a startup company. The real growth, there's a lot of opportunities only in a company where it is growing. So when I hear people they want to join a very prestigious firm, a very well established company, I would like you are limiting your growth if you want to join a well established company. The reason you need to ask first, why do you want to join a well established company? What is your goal behind it? You should see a bigger vision. Is it just are you going to join the company? Then what next? This question, what next, often gives us a lot of engages us in a lot of thinking and helps us move our thinking further. When we say, okay, now let's say my dream is to join a big company and get a good job, and then when somebody goes ask me what next, what is my answer going to be if I don't have an answer to that? So we need to have clarity. We need to have clarity in what we do. Having clarity, if you have clarity, then you know in which direction you're exactly going. And when you know in what direction you're going, that is when you'll be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. So for me, my vision has always been to start my own firm. So that is the reason before even coming to New Zealand, that was my idea, that was my vision, and that was my dream. I came here to gain valuable experience in construction and take that experience back to India to start my own firm. So with all that in mind, everything was going according to plan. I came to New Zealand and I was able to complete my master's, did research again here, like I said, just like how I was performing back in India, I was not a very great student here in doing my master's as well. I graduated with second class, second degree honors. And I wouldn't say like I'm proud of it or I don't feel bad about it either because that's not what gave me the job. What gave me the job was my character, my attitude, and work ethic. So I would like to touch upon these three things in having in a workplace or company or anything. And according to me, what really matters for an employer, what he really looks for in an interview. So if you getting a job through referral is completely different. He'll still sometimes they might still interview you, sometimes they might still take a look at your CV, but that referral is really very has a high influence on your what kind of a person you are. Because if let's say you are in a highly influential position in a company and your employer asks for looks for vacancy and he comes to you, do you know someone who can fill this vacancy, or do you know someone who would be a good fit for this job? And he says, oh yeah, I know someone who will be a really good fit for this job. And he says he gives a brief introduction about you, and he tells really good things about you. And what do you think is going to happen next? Of course, you're going to get hired. He'll just probably take a look at your CV and see if you're going to fit or something like that. But this is what really happens behind an online job. This thing. That's why most of our uh, online applications get rejected. It's because the spot is already filled by someone who has an referral in the company. So if you get a job through online application, then you consider yourself really lucky, because it's not easy to get a job through an online application. And that's how when you go about job search and everything, when you get an interview, you focus on what the words that you really say, your body language. And I don't know how many of you know this, like the words we speak are just 7% of what we're trying to convey. And 55% is the body language. And 7% is the tonality that we use. So body language is the key to influencing anything or anyone in a decision making. So you want to make sure you have the right body language, and you want to make sure you use the right tone, and 7% words is the least. You just have to uh, have a few words in your vocabulary when you go to the interview, and just always have a smile on your face. When even if you don't know a certain question for which an employer asks you, it's important that you boldly say that you don't know. It's important that you answer with confidence. Even if it's a no, you answer with confidence. No, like, so if an employer asks me, what do you think so and so is? What do you think about the future of this thing? Or something technical he asked me. And you say, I don't know. But if it's something I have to know, I will do everything in my power to make sure that I know what it is. Something like that. On something along those lines. So it all matters how you respond and what your attitude is, what your character is. And in an interview, an employer can really see your attitude. And some people, when they leave the interview hall, they just, like leave like that. They don't even look back at the employer for, like giving a small smile to just give that appreciation for taking the time to interview you. Those are small little things that really matter, and that are most often the things that are overlooked. So I don't know how many of you guys like really wanna go abroad and do study, and how many of you guys that really even want to do civil engineering, or how many of you guys have like anything else planned. So if for me, I wanted to do civil engineering, so I'm here and in a good company, good with a lot of good values. Maybe in 5 years' time, I'll come back to India, start my own firm. But what really matters and what is needed to succeed in any career is you need to have, of course, you need to have a skill set. That's why you have a qualification. But in civil, in construction, all the, if you ask me, the skill you need is, if you know how to read a plan, if you know how to read a drawing, if you know, you don't even have to know a concrete mix or anything. If you know how to read a plan, if you know how to direct people, that's an enough skill for you to get into a starting role in construction. You don't need anything else. If you see people in India, in big L&T or any big companies, a lot of people who come from low tier colleges. You cannot see people from uh, very big IIT or anywhere working in L&T. Why is that? Because knowledge is not important to work in uh, construction. It's you need to have that attitude. You need to have that willingness to learn, and you just have to have that uh, willingness, attitude, and work ethic. Work ethic is really important. Are you are you like punctual to work? Are you a person who finishes work every day? Are you a person who procrastinates? Are you a person who comes late? Are you a person who takes leave often? Are you a person who like there's so many things that we can keep going on. So they also employer also sees a lot of intangible assets. Like I said, intangible assets is what really matters. Like character, work ethic, your attitude. These three, these three matter a lot in a workplace. Succeed and get climb the corporate ladder if that is what ultimately you want. Like for me, it's if you honestly ask me, in India, I've learned one thing from before, like I would say maybe just before entering college. So what I learned was you can never have a great life or provide a great life for your family by working as a employee. You'll be, of course, yeah, you get a good job, life is settled. Many people underestimate that word, life is settled. They don't know actually what life settled is mean. What ultimately what matters in life to you is what will help you decide whether any decision you make. Yeah, getting a good job is definitely important, but is that what you ultimately want? Or you want to work for 50 years and retire with the retirement money? You think how long do you think we can enjoy with the retirement? By the time we retire, we'll be 65. Or after we're 65, what are we gonna do? Uh, and so what always ask this question to you yourself: what matters to you? What do you want in life? And in it doesn't matter in construction or any career. You need to know if climbing up the corporate ladder. Yeah. So let's say you get to reach the level of a CEO. What then? What's next? The same question you ask again. What next? So you need to be able to answer that question in every phase of your life, and that is what will make it really, really, it will give you the clarity, I would say. So for me, like when I talked about job search, when I came to New Zealand, I was actually jobless for 7 months, and people have no idea what kind of jobs I was doing. I was working in pizza shop. I was working as a delivery guy. I was working as a in a warehouse shop where I had to load and unload 1,000 kgs every day. And I've gone through a lot of stuff, and the thing that I regret the most is I didn't utilize the period where the whole world was sitting at home. When the whole world was sitting at home doing nothing, or people were working from home, and when everybody were working and developing skills, I did nothing. To be honest, I didn't do anything, and I was just watching Netflix, playing games, and that is what I was doing basically. So it it's never too late to get into a good position in life. Like you have to keep asking yourself, where do you want to see yourself? Where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years? For me, I was lucky that someone asked me this question. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Where do I see myself in 10 years? And that is a question that we need to be able to answer to have clarity. And for some people, going with the flow of life might be good. It's not wrong. It's not a wrong thing. So some people would want to have clarity. They want to see themselves in 10 years. I want to live this life. I want to be in this position. I want to provide this kind of life to my family. And it's very easy to make decisions when we are alone. But one day everybody's going to have a family. and that is where you have to make hard decisions, and that is where you need to know where do you want to be in the next 5 years or 10 years, because like going with the flow of life is good, but you have to think a little bit ahead also to make sure you give a great life for your family. Because it doesn't matter if you want to be a CEO, doesn't matter if you want to be a great position in a company, or doesn't matter if we want to start a big business. What matters at the end of the day? Do we want to provide a great life for family? Is that right? Or we want to live a great life? That is what really matters. And real happy, like when living a good life, when you just think about yourself. So if we are thinking about ourselves, it's very very hard to live a life full that's filled with happiness. Happiness is in helping other people, and you want to help your family. First comes the family, and if we are not able to feed four people at the end of the day, and or if you are living a life to just feed four people, which is probably your family, we it's I don't know, like if you guys think a life it's worth living, or if it's a life with filled with happiness. Everybody can feel content with what they have, and everybody can feel happy in different ways. But ultimately, what matters, everybody here on this earth is born with a purpose. And our purpose is something larger than ourselves. We need to be able to serve a lot of people. We need to, if we can't make one person happy a day, and then what are we doing? We need to see like what really mattered. Like I read this book, and in this book, is by Brendan Burchard, and he says he was in an accident, and he was he was about to uh, die or something like that. He started having this epiphany of thoughts where he says he just asked himself three questions. Did he love? Did he matter? And did he really matter? Did he love, or did he live? So when he asked these three questions, he couldn't he saw himself full of regret in that situation, in that moment. And when he realized he was gonna die, or he was about to die, he had these three questions, and he realized that his life has been nothing. His life never mattered, and only thing that really uh, mattered was nothing. And after that, he had a very big purpose in life. He wanted to do a lot more, and he wanted to serve a lot of people in life. And now his audio or his video has been viewed over 100 million times across the world, and he's been coaching and mentoring high professionals in various fields. So everybody has to have a purpose, but we would be able to find our purpose now, or in 5 years, or in 10 years. Like Jay Shetty talks about, everybody has their own timeline. Don't feel rushed by your parents, uh, like parents' opinion, or your parents' pressure, or anything. Everybody have their own timeline. You have your own timeline. He has his own timeline. It doesn't mean everybody has to complete engineering in 4 years. It doesn't make any sense. If a person is not able to take a complete engineering in 4 years, you can take a break. And doesn't mean everybody has to start a family in 27, and doesn't mean everybody has to have a child by age of 30. No, it's not like that. It doesn't matter if you buy a house at 40 or if you buy a house at 30. It happens to everyone in their own timeline. And just believe in your process, and believe what you're going through. Have faith and have belief. And most important thing is having faith and having the belief in ourselves. it's no matter the whole world, even if the whole world doesn't believe in you, if you believe in yourself, doesn't matter if the whole world doesn't believe in you. Nobody can stop you from achieving what you want. And even if the whole world believes in you, if you don't believe in yourself, nothing is gonna happen. You're gonna stay where you are, or you're gonna keep going down, and you're just gonna stay where you are. And that's why you have to keep thinking, you know. And that's why I usually say, if you are a person who's internally motivated, you say, I can do this. If you're a person who looks for like external motivation, you still can do it yourself. Just go and stand in front of the mirror and look the person in the mirror and say, you can do this. And you don't have to look for motivation outside. Only when you're internally motivated, you can you can get ahead in life, and you can keep, having that purpose, having that vision, going for that bigger cause, representing yourself for a cause bigger than yourself. That's what really matters at the end of the day. And if we are all just living for ourselves at the end of the day, and then like when that time comes that you have to leave the earth, you have to ask, all that thoughts are gonna come inside your head. Did it really matter? Did your life really matter? And how many people are better off because we lived in this planet? How many people are able to live a better life because we lived in this planet? Just because we lived, how many people are able to live better? And it's not like necessary, like everybody has to represent themselves for a bigger cause or anything. But I strongly believe that everybody born in this planet has a strong purpose, and it might take time to find the purpose. It might take time to find what we're really good at, find our passion, and we feel really content when we are able to connect our passion and purpose together to serve for a cause that is bigger than ourselves. And like I said, like when I started off this meeting, many people are forced to do engineering just because our parents wanted us to do engineering. But some people are really lucky, they find their passion in civil engineering. They find, this to be something they love doing, and that's good. But what if someone he doesn't like civil engineering? He doesn't love uh, watching building buildings, or working with concrete and stuff like that. So what really matters is, are you serving your passion? Are you like working for your passion? Like Simon Sinek says, if stress is something that we work, stress, like, I have a quote here. Yeah. Working hard for something that we don't care about is called stress. But working hard for something that we care about is called passion. So when we work for our passion, Elon Musk worked more than 120 hours a week, and he never felt like he worked a single day. And that's the thing. So if you have a passion and you work for it, you don't even feel like you're working for it in a single day. But if you're working in a environment where you don't like, or you don't love doing what you're doing, every day seems like a nightmare. And that is not a life that we want to live. This meeting was sorry, intended to talk about the mindset, skill set, and heart set that's required to achieve in construction. But what I really wanted to say is, if you have a strong mindset, a mindset and skill set is very important. If we are trying to be competitive, we can build a skill set. But if you're looking to be unparalleled, then you need to build a mindset. But apart from these two, what really sets you apart from many people is having that heart. If you have a really strong mindset, that by itself sets you apart from many people. But if you want to stand out and be separate and not blend in, You need to have a really strong mindset and the heart. You need to have that passion. You need to have that hunger. You need to have that drive to serve for something that is much bigger than just yourself. You know, when the times get really hard, what really holds us back is the why that we're doing it. So, let's say, for example, if we want to, let's say someone just wants to get rich, he wants to earn $10 million a year. He wants to have an income of $10 million a year, by business or by anything, any source of income, but $10 million a year. And if we ask that person why he wants to earn $10 million a year, and he says, because I want to be rich, I just want to live a life of freedom, I want to travel, something like that. But that getting to that position, earning $10 million a year is gonna take effort. It's gonna take a lot. You're gonna have to walk through a lot of obstacles, a lot of struggles, a lot of pain, and you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of things on the way. And when times get really hard, what's gonna hold you back is that why you actually started doing it. So if that why was, just because he wants to have a rich lifestyle and just because he wants to uh, earn $10 million a year, travel across the world, you think, do you guys think that is gonna hold him back and push him to stay in the path on this journey to achieve that $10 million a year? Of course not. He's not gonna finish. He's not gonna get through the end of the journey. He's not gonna follow through on what he committed because he just wanted to have a lifestyle which served only himself. Now, let's say another example. And I'm sure many of you here would have a very strong purpose and why you want to achieve what you want to achieve. And I'm sure many of you are really big dreamers, and everybody would have a strong purpose. And I'm sure that at least 60 to 70% of the people here have have a reason that they want to serve for their family. They want to build something so for their mom and dad. They want to, if they have siblings, they want to provide a great lifestyle for their siblings. This generation, we are really lucky to have we provided education like this, and born with a silver spoon, I would say. So we haven't really got to face those struggles and face those hardships that our parents have faced. Our parents have gone through a lot of struggles and a lot of hardships to provide us this lifestyle. So don't you all think that we should provide our family a better lifestyle than we are living? Don't you guys think that? So, like, I think we should be able to provide a lifestyle to our family 2 to 3 times better than the lifestyle our parents have provided for us. And that kind of the kind of why that we have, that is what is gonna hold us no matter how hard the time gets. When uh, during those times, these highly successful people, anybody you take, let it be Abraham Lincoln or Elon Musk or Simon or even Jack Ma. Jack Ma's story. Many people would have heard Jack Ma's story, and he failed 29 times in a Harvard interview, and he was rejected by every university. He was rejected by police training, police school, and literally everybody rejected him. And then he had this idea of starting something on internet. He had this strong why to serve other people. He wanted to, like change. He wanted to have a revolution, create a revolution, and that is when he started the uh, doing this internet thing. And when he started this, many people told him, "Man, what is this internet? This is not gonna work. What is this guy thinking? This guy's nuts." Like all sorts of things. But what held him is something that wasn't just for himself. He didn't start doing the what he wanted to do just to serve himself. He created that platform Alibaba, for the whole world, for for others. He didn't create that platform to serve himself. He created the platform to serve the world, which is a cause greater than himself. In first 2 years, he did not have a single a single return of investment, but he still continued doing it. And that's what I'm saying. Like times will get really hard, but what matters is if we are following our passion and if we have a purpose, no matter how hard times get, we will follow through with what we commit. And at the end of the day, that is what really matters. We need to be able to like connect our passion and purpose and have that strong why as to why we started doing at it in the first place. And will this be strong enough to hold us back, to hold us accountable for why we started, to help us remind every single time, no, you can't quit. You can't quit. You have to keep going on because you're not doing this for yourself. Because that is what really matters. If we're doing this just for ourselves, it's easy to quit, When times get really hard and I'm just gonna quit on my dream. So many people have uh, just quit on their dreams just like that. The dream is something that, is dreaming in the first place is a very big thing. Many people are even afraid to dream. Many people, some people, they dream small. And like I would say, why dream small if you want to start a big company, why dream why dream just to start a small big company or big company? Dream bigger than that, you know? And for me, if you say like many people would laugh, if they ask me, like I would say that I want to live more than 100 years. People would laugh. They would never even think something like that. For as far as I've seen, many people I've seen and many people I've come across, they never even have had a thought that living 100 years, that's impossible. And that's because of the environment that we've grown, all the things that we've captured and all the things that we observed for from our parents or from everywhere else that has made us believe that 100 living for 100 years is not possible. And that is why we start believing in something without even knowing that it's not true. Is it a fact or is it an opinion? We've just heard a lot of opinion for a lot of years, which has made us think that it is a fact. But is it really a fact? So, but here's the thing: when your dream is big enough, facts don't count. No matter what the fact is, if you have a very big dream and you have a that desire to go and achieve it, no matter what the fact is, nothing can stop you from achieving it. So what what big thing or big takeaway that I would want to give you guys is to achieve in in a career. To achieve in a career, you need to have a that strong mindset. You need to have a big heart. The heart is just something that completely sets you apart from other people. Many people can build a mindset, but the heart is something that you need to have. You need to the heart is something that you cannot build. It is developed based on your values that you've built. And and the skill is something that anybody can build. Anybody can build over time. You know, people, that's why you see a lot of posts where you can say, uh, and we hire based on character and we hire based on attitude because skill can be built, but a character and attitude cannot be built. It's very hard to build character rather than building a skill on someone, training him to be more developed and more efficient in these areas, and building the skill set to that is required that's required for the job. And having apart from this mindset, skill set, and the heart, the other three things that I really emphasize on is having the character, the work ethic, and the attitude. You need to have these things straight anywhere you go. Anywhere you go, you have a really good character, a really good attitude, a really good work ethic. No matter where you go, whichever area it might be, you will flourish. You will flourish to the top. There's no doubt about it. Nobody can, like stop you from growing up and up and up. Whenever we do something, it's just we should not have any expectations in return. Just do things without expectations and just keep doing what you're doing. Give it your very best. Give your 100%, and I'm sure everybody will succeed in whatever they have. And don't feel pressurized by someone else's opinion. Someone's opinion does not have to make it your reality. Your What you think about yourself is what matters. If someone says that you can do it, that that does not mean you can do it. Don't let other people's opinion define what your reality is. You are more than capable of what you think you are. You need to see first. You need to see that. If you can see that, nobody can help you see that. At the end of the day, you are by yourself. Only you can help yourself. Our parents are there. Our parents are emotionally invested in us. They can't make the hard decisions for us. So we have to make hard decisions for us, or you can if you get a mentor or someone who can make a look at your life at a third perspective and help you make hard decisions and and tell you the things that are really hard. And that's the kind of person we need. A person who values and sees the value in us and sees us for what we are capable of. And sometimes many people, they just underestimate themselves. They don't see how much capable they are. We don't see how much capable we are unless someone tells us. Sometimes that's why when we say, uh, when someone comes and appreciates us or says that you have a lot of talent, and people will ask, really? And what if you're asking that question, that means like you underestimate yourself. And you need to first believe in yourself. Like many people don't uh, know how strong belief is. I've read a lot of books and a lot of things, and I can keep talking for hours and hours about a lot of topics. And but like consuming and just throwing a lot of information at you guys, it's not, you guys won't be able to take much knowledge or much value out of what I'm just talking. My whole This is like my first time delivering or giving speech in front of like this many people. I've always wanted this opportunity to talk to a lot of people, but this is the first time, so I'm not like very well prepared, or I don't have a structured way of giving my thoughts to you guys. So I'm like just sharing whatever my experiences and whatever I think would be really valuable in life and in career, to succeed in career, in some key takeaways, so that you guys can implement it and you guys can really understand what really matters in this corporate world, or what really matters in life. So that can like everybody can. Some people want to work, some people want to start business, some people want to follow their passion, sports, music, anything. There are a lot of fields. Just like I said, just because we are pressurized by someone's opinion, you don't have to follow a certain path and then later 5 years, 10 years down the line regret that I could have, no, if I had just followed my passion, I would have been living such a happy life, or would have been able to impact a lot of people's lives and something like that. You don't want to have that regret looking back 5 years, 10 years down the line. Do you really enjoy what you do? You ask yourself if you really enjoy what you do. Would you, if someone come and ask you, would you do this for free? And or let's say if someone really loves working in a company, he really loves your job, you go and ask him the question, would you work for this company for free for 1 month? And if he says like, wow, no way, man, how can I work for 1 month for free. I have families, I have many mouths to feed. I have to make ends meet and something like that. Yeah, that's true. But it's the response also matters, like how he says it. Some people they would really want to, they would really work, but they will also say it in a way, and yeah, I would love to work. I would love to, definitely I would, but man, I have many mouths to feed, and I really can't afford to do that. Something like that. So the answer matters. Delivering a message, the same message can be delivered in multiple ways. And what we say, what we trying to convey, and ultimately what matters is the message that we are trying to convey, is it being conveyed? So we might be thinking, so I might be thinking whatever I'm telling you guys, like I'm delivering what I'm looking to deliver. But did you? I should also be thinking, did you guys really get? Did you guys really understood what I'm trying to tell you guys? So that is what really matters in when you're conversing with people and saying stuff. So you need to know and have that right uh, saying it in the right way, making sure that what you want to convey is being conveyed. And like yeah, I can keep keep going and talking about a lot of things, and I would just want to talk about this one thing and like believing in ourselves because I really like this concept, this power of our subconscious mind. So this would like I think it would probably cover everything that needs to be covered. So I read this book called The Power of Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. I would really highly recommend people to read that book, and it's a very good book for people who don't know how much you can achieve or what kind of things that you can achieve just by your own thoughts. So in this book, he really explains how you program your subconscious mind and what we need to be sowing the seeds in our subconscious mind and what really matters. So we can every day when we program our subconscious mind and once that seed is sown, if that thought that needs to be, if the thought that we want gets sowed in the subconscious mind, your work is done. After that, your subconscious mind is going to take over and make sure that that's been followed through. So, but that takes a long time of work. It takes a long time to put that seed into the subconscious mind, and it's everyday work. Every day we need to program our subconscious mind, and it's very, very important that we never talk negative stuff, no matter where you go. Like people engage in many kind of gossips, and many people waste your time, and they engage in a lot of activities that consume so much of your thinking and something that doesn't need your thinking. So like they say, great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. That's so much true because if you're thinking about doing great things and you would be thinking ideas with people, you'd be thinking how we can do this, how we can do that, how we can create this, how we can do it better, and stuff like that. So everywhere you try to be, you know, uh, create an environment where it helps you only sow that positive thoughts. An environment where it helps you only think positive and talk positive stuff and discuss ideas and a lot of things like that. And Abraham Lincoln says, you show me a friend and I'll tell you who you are. And that's true. If you are your circle of influence really matters the most. And from our childhood, 80% of our time we spend with friends. Only 20% we spend with family, considering the 8 hours of sleep. I said. So if when we are spending 80% of our time with our friends, imagine how much of influence our friends have in our life. It really matters the kind of the circle that we have. Your top five friends, the top five people you spend your most time with, you are going to be the average of those five people. If you're spending time with five people who always discuss great ideas, who always keep dreaming about big things, who always talk about achieving this, achieving that, and have so much clarity. Even if you're no way compared to them, you're gonna end up having that mindset. You're gonna end up having a thinking big like that. You're also gonna start thinking big, start dreaming big, and start talking about great things like, man, achieving this, achieving that. And when you have that, when you move from one circle to another circle, and then when you go back to the other circle, those friends are gonna notice a difference in you, and they'll be like, man, what happened to you? And you seem different. And then you can trust me, that's gonna happen. It's happened to me. And it might be as hard as it sounds, but if we have to have a circle of influence like that, we might have to sacrifice something else. It doesn't mean we have to sacrifice our other relationships completely, but it really matters where you want to go. And like I started, what really matters to you, and what do you want to get in this life, and what kind of thinking you have. So whatever thinking you have and what thinking you want to have. So the thinking that you want to have, you find people like that, the way to who think like that, so that you end up thinking like them. You end up thinking like how you want to think, and you end up achieving what you want. So that really matters. And you cannot see a middle class man hanging with business people. Just like if you see a middle class man hanging with a businessman, he's gonna end up being a businessman. I can guarantee that it will happen. So, you can if a businessman hangs out with five employees, he's gonna end up being an employee. It's true it's true every way around. And we are the average of the five people that we spend the most time with. And I've seen a lot of difference in that. In just the past 6 months, I've had a huge amount of difference in my thinking, uh, my actions, my habits, everything. When we are in an environment that uh, promotes so much positivity and so much enthusiasm, so much charisma, we're gonna be filled with energy, and that's gonna push us to engage in that kind of thing, push us to do a lot more than what we think we are, and we wouldn't even know that we are doing all these kind of things. So what it just like to cut it short, what matters to you in life? You find people who think like you, or you think uh like think like how you want to think, and hang around with them, make friends with them. And what really matters to you? Do you want a job? If you want to have a job, if you want to succeed in your job, you need to have a mindset. You need to have uh, forget about skill set. You don't need to have big skill set. You would develop the skill set when you get into the job, but you need to have that mindset, and you need to have a heart, and focus on building your character. How we build character. Read a lot of personal development books, and many might not be interested, but personal development books is what helps you develop personally. That's why they're called personal development. And read a lot of listen to a lot of audios. Listen to people who you like. You don't have to listen to all the audios. Listen to some uh, people whom you like listening to. Some people might like uh, certain kind of authors, certain kind of people talking. Some people might like to hear Elon Musk. Some people might like to hear other great leaders. So you just try to tap into that mindset. Try to get up, try to get some perspective on life, and find where you are, and find where you want to be, and just try to fill in that gap. You don't have to worry about how you're gonna fill that gap. You just have to worry about what it is, that end destination, and just focus on the process. Because what really matters is we reaching the destination. What really matters is what we are becoming, or the person we are becoming in reaching our destination. So I'm sure everybody has a dream. Everybody has a strong why. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a passion. Try to bridge that gap. Try to close in on your passion and purpose, and have a strong why. Build a great circle of influence. Build your character. Build your work ethic. Build a great attitude, mindset. Build a mindset. Have a heart, and that's all that matters in life. There's nothing else that matters in life. With that, I don't want to force too much information on you guys. I just shared my experience and what I think has brought me here. And to be honest, this is what has brought me here in life, and this is kind of the life that I wouldn't say I've dreamt of, but it's get along the journey. So with that, I'll pass it to our amazing HOD, Mr. Arun, and allow him to finish up the session.
Yeah, thank you, Pravik. Actually, I've seen you something else when you were doing undergraduation, but now you have shown a complete different person. I could see a tremendous change or a paradigm shift in your attitude and the way you speak. And I couldn't believe my own eyes that is that Pravik talk is that Pravik? And I'm just finding the old Pravik. I'm not finding that old Pravik right now. You are a complete different person. Yes, and to whomever I speak, or someone if ask, or someone sits near to me and asks, "Sir, what should I do after 4 years?" Or if I ask, "What is your plan after 4 years?" I would always recommend go to a different place where you will not find anything known to you. You start a new life. Only then life will teach you a lot of stuff. I speak to this. I speak this to every person whomever I meet. Even I told you this, right? Go abroad. Go to a different place. You will discover your own self. I think that Pravik have discovered his own self, the inner self that he was looking for and dreamt for. Because you will not believe, guys, Pravik was a different person by then, but now he's completely changed. He had given a lot of, I think he had spent a lot of time in reading so many books from Jim Rohn, Jim Quick, Les Brown, motivational speaker, and he has given so many quotes. And even I would like to add one of the quote. Author Jim Quick, he says, "You can learn a decade of experience through a book within a week," right? And Jim Rohn was talking about regrets. So when you are in a deathbed, or when you have a power to speak to the cemeteries or a graveyard, most of the soul would cry for their own dreams, because as eventually most of the dreams would not come into life, right? And Jay Shetty, I follow him a lot. He was talking more about life purpose and what you want to become. And I'm happy that Pravik has quoted so many quotes from the authors that he had read. So, and before that, I got a message from one of our students. What is that written on your board? Is it a vision board or something, Pravik?
Yeah,
Would you
that's
mind sharing
this
it to
is
the speakers?
yeah, I can tell. So on my right side, yeah, I have this year 2021 goals, and that is in three aspects. It's like personal and a business and fitness. So I have my personal goals as like applying for PR, and another one is like saving 20 to 25 grand by the end of this year, and the third one is making 300 new contacts, and fourth one is earning 70,000 annual. And for the second one, business, that's like kind of more of jargon, so you won't be able to. You guys won't be able to understand what that is. I just said the second thing in business is like earning $2,500 of monthly passive income. And the last one is fitness. Fitness is like more technical, like squat, deadlift. I don't know how many you would understand that. Like squatting 140 and deadlift 200 and benching 120 with a body fat of 99%. And this side, I have my habits that I'm focusing on, like more like rituals, I would say. So for me, what helps me set up my day is the morning routine that I have. I want to wake up early, and waking up early sets the tone for my day. So the morning I spend at least 2 to 2.5 hours before I leave for work and preparing my mind for that day. So when I start my day with 15 to 20 minutes of mindfulness meditation, and then I take a quick shower, and then come back, read 30 minutes of book, and then 30 minutes of podcast, listening to a podcast. And this side, I have my habits, which is like waking up at 4 a.m., which I was, but now, unfortunately, I don't have that much of time because I get very less sleep, and meditating for 30 minutes, which I was doing for like 4 to 5 months, and everyday visualization and affirmation. Like affirmation is very important, to build that high self-image. And visualization is getting in that moment, living that moment which you really want to live. When you keep visualizing, because our subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between reality and a dream or something like that. That is why they say dreams are powerful. So when you keep visualizing that, you put all that feeling, so much clarity in what you're seeing, and eventually it comes to pass. That is why they say visualization is powerful. And listening to one podcast, reading book for 30 minutes, and networking every day. I love to talk to people, so I network every day. People wouldn't believe I exhaust my weekly connection request on LinkedIn. I started with 100 connections on LinkedIn this year, but now I have like 1,000 connections. That is how much connections I like to build and like talk to a lot of people. And next one I have is like learning a new language for 30 minutes, which I was, but now I'm not doing it, to be frank, because I have a lot on my plate, and building my vocabulary for 10 minutes every day, and doing budgeting, sleeping at 10:30, and tracking all my habits.
Thank you,
So,
Praveen.
and on my left side, if you guys want to see, this is my uh, poster. So I have
Yeah.
a lot of quotes.
So I could see a glimpse of the secret video, I guess. So I think you are following that 60-60 rule by Robin Sharma, I guess. And
Yeah, yeah,
also Rich Dad Poor Dad, you divide your entire life into 4 quadrants.
yeah. Four
I'm
quadrants.
happy, I'm happy, I'm
Cash
happy.
quadrants. Cash quadrants.
Yeah,
Many wouldn't understand the
yes,
four
yes,
quadrants. They
yes.
would when we show them this is the quadrant that we're living in, they'll be like, ah, okay.
Yeah,
I would
because
highly recommend that book, The Business of the 21st Century, for
yes,
everyone,
yes.
by Robert Kiyosaki.
Mm.
It's a really good book.
So I think I mean, the next 5 to 10 years, I could see you reaching your dreams. I bless and all my prayers will be with you. I'll be surely reaching out to you in your busy schedule and to address our students and helping our students. And yeah, so I'll talk to you later about. I will discuss about this. So I would like the participants to talk to the speaker, Pravik, if you need anything on that or whatever it is related to the topic, that, or if you have anything related to reaching out to New Zealand or something. And most of you know, I heard it from one of my friend. New Zealand comes in the top 5 place in the happiest living place, right? So open to you guys, because I can keep on talking. That's not the intent. So
Yeah.
yeah, open to you. I guess.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, Akhil.
Yes, Akhil, go on.
Yeah, I'm Akhil. So, sir, I had this question. You initially you said that you got inspired for civil engineering in class seventh, right? So what
Yeah,
inspired you at that young age? It's kind
yeah.
of not usual.
I was waiting for someone to ask this question. I knew like someone would ask me this question. So how I became inspired to take up civil engineering was I used to take a road in bus at six, maybe end of sixth standard every day to I studied in Maharishi Vidya Mandir 1 year. So the route I used to take every day is across the slums, and I used to see a lot of people without shelter, and I don't know if it has something to do with my values or like what my parents have instilled in me. I really wanted to do something for those people. And I wanted to build, I wanted to have a country where everybody has been given shelter, the basic necessity of mankind. And without shelter, like it's very hard. I couldn't feel what they're feeling, but I empathized with them. I really wanted to do something for those people. And as I went past that route every single day, that belief and that purpose in me grew stronger, which made me take up civil engineering as my undergrad and start my own firm and set up my firm in multiple countries across the world.
Thank you, sir. Thank
I
you.
hope.
I had just one more follow-up question, sir. You seem to
Yeah,
be interested in precast, right? So,
yeah.
sir, like, what are the things that you have planned? Like, how would you start it up, and what are the machineries and all required? Because right now, I think you're working on that one, but it's timber,
So,
right? Yeah. So, what about concrete?
yeah. Yeah, so now this question is again a very good question. Thank you for asking that, Akhil. And like I told you guys, you don't have to uh like get focused on how you're gonna achieve that dream. So my dream was so strong. I believed in my dream every single day. I used to affirm that I'm gonna have a company for myself and see myself building shelter for these people. So what happened in that was I had no idea how I was gonna do that. And then when I got to this company, I I'm really good with people. I'm really good with people. I can communicate and then build a very good conversation. And with every single person in my company, they know me really well. And even if you ask now, like any person, they will tell me what kind of a person I am. So I proposed this thing. I I told my father, I had a talk with my father, and I told him that I think it's going to be really hard for me to leave this company in 5 years. I don't know if I'll be able to do that and come back to India and start my own firm. So then he told me, there's also another way for that. You don't have to leave your company. You can bring that company to India. And then I was like, wow, this is why you need your parents' advice. So I didn't even hesitate, and I have a really good relationship with my one of the directors in the company. So I just like that I told him, his name is Paul. So he's like he takes care of the production. So I told him, hey Paul, I have a interesting proposition for you. I'm like planning to take this company to India. And he was like, man, why not? So like I was like, that's like a start. So it's end of the road. That's like down the line, 4 or 5 years down the line, like starting that company in India, or I would already have so much knowledge by that time, 4 or 5 years, and by that time I would have enough knowledge to start my own firm and precast. What all machinery is required. I right now, even if you ask me, I know what all machineries are required and how much uh, how much area or how much production we need. Right now, my company, they're like in 4 years' time, they're already doing $1 million production a month. So I would know how much uh, production I need to reach my dream to build this shelter for all these people. I hope that answers your question, Akhil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks a lot for the answer.
Anybody else want to ask any questions? Or like any kind of questions?
Yeah, like yesterday, it is dinner time right now, I guess. Is that right,
Uh, yeah,
Praveen?
for me it's 9:30 in the night. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be good if you ask a real good question. quickly so that we can go and have dinner
Nah,
and
it's
take
all
a
right.
rest.
Like I'm like like to spend time with people. Huh? Like we can anytime eat dinner any day.
So one more question. Can I ask? Like, I'm
Yeah,
repeating.
yeah, sure, sure. Go ahead, Akhil. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, so even I was a little bit interested in precast and also I did a little bit of research. So, I just found out that there is already a company in Pune, right? It's called Precast India Private Limited. So they are doing it
Mm-hmm.
at a very huge scale. They are already doing it. So all the things that we learned in our textbook, they are doing it. So I thought that it might be something new in the industry. We could do that, and we can have a business over there. But there is already a company which is doing it at such a large scale. So that kind of scares me. How can we now go and get this market when it is already being dominated by someone? So
That's what I'm saying. So that is where the difference between you and the other person comes. You know, the other person can have a lot of value, but if you have a strong mindset, and if you know, you can anybody can build a great employee. Anybody can build a great company if they value their employees. If you treat your employees first before your customers, you can build a company at any large scale. And most importantly, it's the belief that you need to have. So, if yeah, L&D started in 1939, and now he's such a huge company, and but still there are many companies, growing really fast, and giving tough competition and getting a lot of projects and everything. And it's not like that. It's not like, there's only so much one company can handle. So when that company is gonna say no to some projects, eventually that's gonna come to you. But you don't want to be in a position where you get the projects that that company is not able to take. You want people to approach you first. So you build that kind of value in your company. You know, no matter how small your company is, customers would be able to see the value in your company, that value you bring to your company. Employees, how you treat your employees, how you treat your customers, what kind of values you have as a company, what quality you are willing to provide for the customers. That is what matters. No matter if the company is a huge company, $100 million turnover or $200 million turnover, it doesn't matter. If you have values, you're gonna reach that much faster than the other company.
thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Uh,
Pravik, there are three questions in the chat box. I'll read it out for you. It is
Oh
from
yeah.
Giri from 17 BCL.
Okay.
Who in 17 BCL is close to the speaker when he was a student?
Okay.
Do you know anyone
Okay.
from 17 batch, Pravik?
Oh, that is too far for me. Long gap in 3 years.
Okay. The second question is, can we get a job in New Zealand after doing PG in USA?
After doing PG in USA. Okay. I think right now they've removed the skilled immigrant category visa. So I'm not sure if you can get, but I think there are a lot of opportunities here. So if you can just apply, there is this visa condition, but I'm really not sure on that one. Yeah.
Okay. The
It's
third
up to
question
the
is,
immigration. Right now the immigration has
how
closed
are the
everything.
job opportunities? Yeah.
Job opportunities for civil
The next
engineers in
question is,
Australia and
yeah.
job opportunities for civil engineers in Australia and New Zealand is plenty, man. There's plenty of opportunities for civil engineers in Australia and New Zealand. And if I can get a job, anybody can get a job. I'm also human, and you're also human.
Hi, Anna, Vaibhav here.
Yeah, sure, I will.
Yeah, so I had one question. Like, while you were planning for New Zealand, which all other countries did you look for? And like in your research, which all countries like came? And like pros and cons of New Zealand over the other countries?
Yeah, so the pros, I would say New Zealand is like very highly developing in construction industry. So they have like uh the construction industry, like there's a high shortage list for quantity surveyors and quantity estimators, and other civil engineering professions, project managers, and professions like that. So they are in very high demand for skills and people like that. But compared to Canada and USA, that's already developed. And it, if it's like, if it's not this employee, it's another employee. So it's like that kind of thing. But in New Zealand, they'll, again, it's also like that, but they'll value your skill more than other countries because they really need that person. Unlike Canada and USA, it's not like they really need a person. They can find plenty of people, if not one guy, if the other guy. And also, Canada and USA are like already developed, so the opportunities are less. But New Zealand and Australia, compared to Australia, New Zealand is far developing and very, very highly developing at this stage. So concrete is coming, the concrete precast industry is like growing really fast in New Zealand. But predominantly they use timber construction. But if you're looking to settle in New Zealand or Australia, yeah, the opportunities are wide, very expanded.
Okay, thank. And one more question about the PR process, which you'll be also applying for. Like,
Yeah.
how difficult is it according to you? Like what is the process? How much time will it take, and the experience which we need for that?
So you don't actually need any experience in New Zealand. In New Zealand, what you need is a point system. So if you do I think masters, you automatically get 100 or 120 points. And then if you move out of Auckland, if you get a job out of Auckland, you get 30 points straight away. And then if you have like experience in New Zealand, that again adds up to some certain points. And again, points also depends on the salary that you're getting, salary criteria. So basically, majorly what they look is the salary criteria per hour. That is highly required criteria to meet. And then if you have qualifications, it's an advantage. And if you're out of Auckland, that's a really big advantage. And other thing is you need to have IELTS score, IELTS or PTE. So if you have a good IELTS score and you have if you meet the salary criteria per hour, and yeah, if you meet the salary criteria per hour, you can get PR even if you're in Auckland. But if you're out of Auckland, you get a good salary, you will get the PR straight away. And it's
Okay, so
important to not have any they'll also judge your character. So you will have to show how many tickets you've got, what if you got caught in anything or criminal convictions, something stuff like that. This general procedure.
okay, so like just one last question. In many countries we have this postgraduate work visa, right? For I think New Zealand, it's like I think 2 years or 3 years.
No, 3 years. 3 years if you do level 8 and level 9 course, which is PG diploma and masters. Yeah.
Okay, so 3 years. So, do you think in these 3 years, like one person from India, like from a middle class background, like who not well, like not in like very good in academics, just like an average, above average student can get a PR. Like he has to land a job in that skill category, that salary package and everything. So, do you think he'll be able to get like a PR in these 3 years of the time which he has?
Like, let me tell you one thing. If you look at me, I'm also just an average student. I'm not like a very bright student or anything. Like I told you before, what matters is not the skill. And there are many companies here which hire based on character and hire based on attitude.
Okay,
So
okay,
you
thank,
have a
thank you.
if you have a good attitude and good character, you perform well at interview, you'll get hired, 100% sure. And you need to have networking skills. You need to have talk to a lot of people, build connections. Because when you go to a new country, you cannot rely on family or anyone who can get you a job. That does not work like that in a new country. You have to build everything from scratch by yourself. You have to build your own connection. You have to build your own network. You have to build your own influence.
Yes, thank you, Anna.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Okay, if there are any, yes, if there are any further questions, do text me. I'll pass it on to Pravik. And I'll also share Pravik's LinkedIn and what are the other profile you would like to share it with the students, Pravik?
Yeah, I'll share my LinkedIn profile on the chat. Yeah, just posted it on the chat right now.
Yeah, so you can use that and stay connected. And one thing is, see, so I told you you can learn the experience from the book. You can obviously see that practically from Pravik. He's strictly following whatever he has learned, and he still, I mean, he strongly believes what he can become, right? So you can directly adopt a few strategies and methods and the belief that Pravik is also following. And I'm so happy because I thought he would share some slides and that anyone can do, but only very few can share his own experiences. And when he said he was a pizza delivery boy and he was working in a warehouse, I felt so emotionally down, and I still remember the words from my father. And you will also not believe, while doing PhD, I did face the similar type of situation where you'll have no finance, only you'll have your own mind and willpower and your emotional support from your parents. So I can relate that with Pravik also, right? So thank you,
And
Pravik.
and the other
And
and the other thing is like when he mentioned, I just picked up it. No matter what job you do, even if it's something that we don't love doing, I've always believed in giving 100% in whatever we do, even if it's not something that we love, because you do it with all your heart. But when we find our passion, we'll be able to do it for a longer period of time. That's the only difference. When we commit to something, we should make sure we give our 100%. Otherwise, we should not start doing it because by doing that, we are just hurting our self-image. We're not we're not doing any harm to the work that we're doing. And the long run, if we commit to something, and we should make sure we follow through with that. If you, that's why I've heard a lot of people, I don't know if you guys have heard Mahatria speech. He says, if you set an alarm at 7 o'clock and you wake up at 7:01, it's the same as waking up at 7:30. So if you think you can wake up at 7, and if you think you can wake up at 7:30, set an alarm for 7:30 and don't press the snooze button. Do that for 30 days and keep doing that, and you'll build a high self-image. And when you build a high self-image, your mind, it'll know that this guy, when whatever he says he's gonna do it. And Mahatria, he's been a person for 13 years. 13 years he's never been late for a single meeting. So imagine the kind of self-image he'll have. So now at this kind of stage, if he says, to himself that he's gonna start doing this, his mind will automatically give up. Our brain does not like us doing uncomfortable things. So when we start doing something uncomfortable, it will make sure that we are not doing it for a long time. It will throw all the obstacles and it will test us, and it will put us down and so much things. I love this concept when he explained, why do we face challenges in life? He said, I'll just finish with this beautiful concept. He says, when we start something, when we commit to something, when we commit to a belief, life starts to challenge us. I've faced this a lot of times. I've experienced it personally in the last 5 years. And whenever, I've always been a gym enthusiast and fitness enthusiast. When I start gymming, when I've thought about being regular, I always get family commitments. I always end up late from work. And I'll have like lot of obstacles to make sure I don't go to the gym that day. And this has been like I always think, why do I get so much family commitments? I'm not even able to follow my gym routine and stuff like that. And when I heard his speech about that thing, like why we face these obstacles, it is because life tests us. When we commit to something, life tests us how to see how strong our commitment is. It challenges our belief system. It challenges and sees if we are really true to what we committed. And until that, until that test ends, life is going to be your worst enemy. It will be your worst enemy. And once you pass that test, you show life that no matter what you do, I'm gonna follow through with that commitment. And then at that point of time, when life finally gives up, it's gonna become your best friend, and it will make sure you have everything in order to succeed in whatever you committed to. So it's very important to pass that test, and that is why when we commit to something, we should make sure we follow through with what we commit. Otherwise, we're just hurting ourselves. We're hurting our self-image, we're hurting our belief system, and every time when we keep hurting our self-image, then next time we say we're gonna do something, our mind is gonna be like, this guy, he's gonna say that and he's not gonna do it anyway. And that's gonna, end up being very bad for you. So no matter how small it is, like it can be reading 2 pages a day, or it can be brushing your teeth twice a day, and as small as it can get, doing it for a lot of doing it for a very long time builds a high self-image, and building a high self-image enables you to do anything that you commit to, and that is what has that's been a really big game changer for me, and I've been able to build a lot of habits based on that.
Thank you, Pravik. Thank you again. I thank all the participants who had spent the time since 1:30, and I wish you all the best. And my best prayers are with you always, right? I will have a constant talk with our students so that you can share your experiences, right? Thank you, Pravik. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Be safe. Thank you, Pravik, again.
Thank you all. Thank you for attending this session for a long time. It's been a pleasure talking with you guys. It would have been really more interactive and nice if everybody had their video on. But it's a start.
Yes,
It's
yes.
a
But
start.
they're not, yeah,
Yeah.
they're
All
not
right. All
used to
right.
it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.